a situation when I was doing juvenile detention ministry. I remember this young lady. Her name was Alexis, and Alexis had a lot of problems, really a lot of problems in her life. Yes, she was incarcerated. She had a daughter that had medical problems. She had a ton of things going wrong in her life. And she was starting to understand a little bit about going to God for help. But as someone who didn't understand how this all worked, and still none of us understand how this all worked, I remember her coming to us and saying, you know, I've been praying for my daughter. I've been praying for my court date. I've been praying for all these things that are affecting my life, but nothing's changing yet. Nothing's changing. So we had a little discussion about God's not a vending machine. You know, we can't just put up the prayer coins or the prayer credit card in the slot and hope to get something out. But God is faithful. God will walk with these promises. We may not see them come back in the next week. We don't say, okay, prayer card came in, God's going to look at it, gets a week to respond, you should see something. There is no time limit on this. Sometimes we get an answers to prayer before we start praying. Sometimes we get answers to prayer much later. Sometimes we may not think we even get the answer to prayer when it's been right there. We just don't know. And this doesn't mean that, you know, the suffering that we go through, Alexa still went through plenty of suffering in what she was working on. God became closer to her, but her problems were not solved overnight, in no way, shape, or form. And a lot of times we may think, oh, God, we've been suffering for a while. Should this not be over? And we have the same lament that we see in the Bible, how long, Lord, how long? And I think that's okay. I think God understands that our time frame sometimes is not God's time frame. Our time frame, we want something now, and this lament is understandable from God's standpoint. But